Okay, so hi, this is 43141Z, we're VEXCALIBUR. We just won our comp at Mountain Pointe Saturday. We're happy about that. But yeah, now we gotta do this explanation video. We've been getting some comments saying that they want explanation. Anyways, I'm Lincoln. I build, design, help the notebook.
I'm Logan, I'm a driver / builder. I'm Ryan and I program it.
I'm Tori and I scout.
Oh yeah. Alright guys, so pretty much. Okay.
So Ryan, do you want to okay. So one of the things we have is a color sort mechanism where we just make use of the fact that we have two outtakes for our intake, one going for the long goals and one going for the upper middle goal. So using that, we can just sort through when we're going for the long goal. Instead of taking it through the long goal pathing, we can go through the middle goal path. So instead of going into the long goal, it just goes down and gets pushed out through there. To do that, we have a couple things. The first one being just an optic sensor in through here at the top of the intake here, and that just detects the color of the block and decides what direction to spin this to either outtake it through the bottom or top path. From there, we ran into a couple issues of the optic sensor would get stuck on one color and then would just keep running forever. So we added a distance sensor here to see when the ball actually gets pushed out of the intake. We have one here on the top and one here at the bottom. And those are just to say, hey, the block has left the intake completely. It's gone now. You can start running this back the way it was and score as normal. So that's what we do for our color sorting.
Alright, so just broad details because we didn't really clarify it, but our bot is S intake, S bot, S tier, maybe. Oh no, we'll see later on. But pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much the main thing, is that it goes in from here. A lot of people, we've noticed, is that for making sure that the blocks don't fall out, a lot of times they'll have like the dual prongs here. We like to call it the Pure Snacky design after MOA, but we realized that Pure Snacky has some pretty big weaknesses. The biggest weakness is that it does not have our hood D-score. The hood D-score from Raguan, who also won MOA. We think that's a really necessary part. Like Logan, if you want to fill up that long goal. Kind of a bad example, but the point is made that the Raguan hood is really necessary. So that's also a really big part about our intake that a lot of people don't have. Our capacity is 8 block capacity. Besides that, mainly we use flex wheels for mostly everything. So we got a bunch of line flex wheels here. We do have some of the smaller, what are they, like 1.75? 1.65. And then we got a couple of the 2-inch. Running that up through to here, we have a bunch more 2 inches that go up to here until we have the advanced sprocket, and then another 1.65 up with this. For I'm not going to talk about the ratios of our intake, the like spinning ratios, because it's a mess and it's honestly, I don't think that important. However, what I am going to talk about is actually our hood. If you notice throughout the video, yes, we do have a really loose chain, but that actually isn't. You want to accurate? Yes. Yeah. So this is all for the single purpose of just having the chain being normal when it's up. It looks like it's bad. It actually runs pretty well. Especially when like the blocks get in here and it kind of gets jammed in there. It works pretty well for us. The chain doesn't get in the way, doesn't have any issues. So yeah, our intake, it's working. We have no issues with it. But yeah, Logan, you want to talk about match loading?
Yeah, so match loading, it's pretty much just any other design you see out there. It's the main meta design. If you want to put it down, it's just the the one overclock that you see. We don't have the high strength shaft pillows, so we had to make do with these, and so it can go forward, which does make some issues, but we just have a band zip tied, and it works perfectly fine. And so, I mean, there's not really any issue with that. It works. And have the gears with the chain.
Yeah, that's our color sorting in action, kind of.
Yeah. But no, these just to keep it at the height, and then we'll band it up to save on air. That's about it for match loader. Pretty simple. nothing too complicated.
Yeah, so another big part with this year is descoring. Descoring is a really huge thing. We have 3 main descoring systems, and the first one is the prong. We think this honestly might be like second most. Honestly, I think this is. But we'll talk about it first.
So, it works. I think it does. It goes in. We can push. We originally had them on both sides, but we realized that they were shorter because we had it on both sides. But the issue with that is it's hard to line up on the long goal, and so putting it to one side, having it longer with that extra reach and ease of use is way better, especially as the driver. And then having a default height of the long goal, so we can just run in. You don't have to come in, put it down, then go through. You can just immediately ram, and then you go up too. So just
So like, if you're trying to, Logan, if you're trying to descore a bunch of them that are already in here by pulling.
Yeah. So it's just your standard. You can just through.
Well, that's pushing, Logan, but pulling.
Oh, pulling. We don't have.
They don't care. Okay.
No.
Well. Where did our air go?
No.
There.
You can just pull it up.
Yeah, but like, had we been had air, we would have just gone in, slot it in there. Yeah. So we can push, we can pull. It's working pretty well.
We can push back and forth. Push back.
Wow. That's a funny joke there, Logan.
It's a dad joke, Logan. Shut up.
On Sheen. Wow. Very, very funny.
And then we talked about
You
this
like fried
D-score,
chicken?
so we'll move on to the middle goal D-score, which is just a C channel that sticks out, but with our bot name being VEXCALIBUR, and trying to make it look like a sword, so gotta keep the theme going on.
So yeah, then go over here. It looks a little goofy, but low-key it works. It's working pretty fine. If he has a better wind-up or whatever, he can get all of them out. But it's working. It came in clutch one of our matches. It was like a 17-point swing.
Yeah.
It was really, really great. Good W over demotorized.
Yeah.
But anyways, no. So for our drivetrain itself, because we kind of skipped over that, but that's also a big part. Our drivetrain, we are running at 450 RPMs right now. We have 4 blue motors on 48 tooth gears, and we have 2 of them on 36, so our RPM literally max is at 450. We did get our chassis narrow enough to where we're only 5 units wide, but I think another cool thing is that a lot of teams, if you are using like poly or Delrin to connect both sides of your drivetrain, the big thing is try to connect both of the pieces. So before, when we started building, we had a piece here and a piece here, but because of VEX's new rules with plastic limitations, what we did was that we just CNC'd it, or we CAD'd it to where it was just one piece that was connected, and then after CNCing it, we just heat bent it, so it counts as one piece. So it really cuts down the amount of pieces that you're using. Really, really great, especially if you're trying to do other stuff like sleds and stuff like that, which, yes, we do have sleds. It works fine. One thing I do like to mention about the sleds, though, is not really the sleds itself, but actually these pins down here. So we do, because of our S-spot, we had a really, really kind of like high cog center of gravity, so we did have a couple of tipping issues. So we have these pins here so that we don't tip. If we're trying to do skills, though, like driver skills, we're trying to go over, tipping's not an issue because, well, Logan is good enough at driving, so tipping's not an issue. It's if someone else pushes you while you're doing something and you're tipping, like what happened at Nameless at our finals.
They tipped.
Yeah.
Because they're weird.
Okay, Broden. We don't talk about Broden. But no, basically, yeah, that's there to prevent that. We take them off when we're trying to do skills. But, yeah.
I didn't know shit about that. Auto liner, I guess. Triangle. Everyone else has it. It works really good. Although ours is a bit pointy, so I would suggest rounding it out more for better auto alignment. But we have a pretty wide range of motion when it comes to scoring, so that wasn't really an issue.
Yeah, because like with the point, if it's too pointy, like you can kind of see here, this hole, it can get a little bit stuck. So I would just recommend, if you are doing it, widening it out or rounding it off, which is fine. Honestly, though, at this angle, though, we can still score. Like, for the most part, it is.
Air.
So for the most part, though, dumb. Okay, well, Logan's dumb. But
Sorry, the color sort's on. Don't use a red block.
Shut up, Logan.
I used a blue block earlier. This is a blue block. You got that, Logan? Yay! Okay, well, besides that point, the angle is pretty forgiving. Like, honestly, a lot of times during our autos, we actually ended up here because we were running things with, like, wrong gauges or whatnot. And even if it's really, really bizarre angle, it still works. So, like,
It's not worse.
yeah, like, the angling has been, like, for the most part, though, it's pretty forgiving, but definitely recommend you need to have an auto liner. We do recommend that. We usually recommend, if you're doing it out of metal, that's great. That's going to be tough and durable. Save weight, though, or whatever. You want to look stylish. $2 works pretty well. This is what the underside of our bot is looking like, in case everyone's running. We do run 2 different rotation sensors for our Odom. We have an inertia tucked in here. I did get a question about this earlier, especially when it concerns a double park, and we'll talk about our double park pretty soon. But how do you make sure your Odom doesn't touch the ground when you double park? For instance, for this rotation sensor, we actually have a standoff here that limits how far down this rotation sensor can go, so it doesn't go past the height of our wheels, essentially. And then this one, well, this one got banged up quite a bit, but honestly, we're going to redesign pretty soon, so right now it doesn't matter. But essentially, what we did for this one, because we're so tight on space here, we actually had this piece of metal, and I just pretty much dremelled a hole slot in here so that our Odom actually like bumps up and down, so that it'll be fine with the level the surface of the ground. But when we double park, it's fine. This again, just making sure it doesn't go down too low. I think that's pretty much it for the underside of the bot. Yes.
Yeah. Should just double park now.
Yeah, double park. So if we actually fill it up with air. Awkward silence moment. Okay, we got air. So for our double park, there's a couple different ways we think people double parking, but for our system, that's pretty much what we do. I think, yeah, it's fine.
Yep.
Okay, we're good enough. Anyways, but pretty much, I can actually take a photo because the angling's a little wonky. But so pretty much what we're doing here is that we have this extra system up here with a pair of pistons that are going down, and basically it just pushes a bar on top of the block, and that just lifts us up so that we're above the ground. You can kind of see we do have that rubber band that's touching right now. Most of the time the orientation isn't to where the rubber band's touching, or yeah, usually that's not in the way. For this point it was in the way, but we're gonna ignore that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bro, you actually hit me in the face, actually. You actually... What even is this?
Bro, something Logan made, dude.
I feel like there was metal in here.
No.
Can I stop getting... Okay, the camera's a target. I'm gonna give it back to you. Oh my god. Bro, I'm getting attacked over here.
Where did that go?
Oh.
That's about it for double park, though.
Yeah, for double park, that's pretty much it. That sounded awful.
Yep.
We're ignoring that. But, okay, so, just going back onto our drivetrain, though, for getting it narrow enough, we did lathe our gears, we did chop them, or just lathe not proper, returned them, I guess. Our gears are half cut, so they're super thin, but that's kind of nice. A lot of teams do it, though. It's not, like, hella unique, but can y'all actually stop throwing things at me? God.
Okay.
Y'all are terrible. I guess, like, people hate success, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's for the most part. That was 6-motor drivetrain, all running blues, 450 RPM. Our intake, we're running an 11 watt for like the first stage, which goes up for like the first 3 rollers we got, and then we used
2 halves.
Yeah, 2 5.5s. We'll tighten that, but yeah, no. But you kind of do notice maybe with our bot in comparison to others, we use a lot of plastic, especially here in the middle of our intake here. We used a lot of plastic pieces kind of just to keep our blocks in single file. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of wasteful on a plastic. We had enough pieces for it, but
Yeah,
we're hoping that
saving
later
those
on,
pieces.
that we'll cut some plastic. Are we missing anything really?
No, I mean, sleds, it goes over. That's about it for park wise.
Yeah, as you can tell, we spent a lot of time preparing for this video. Yeah.
So much time. Yeah.
Things are getting busy though. Okay. Well, Ryan's already gone. I didn't even notice.
Yep.
We're just up and left.
He threw a rubber band at you while you were leaving.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yep.
Okay. Is that literally it?
Yeah, that's everything.
Okay.
I mean, no. See anything else?
Well, this is the bot. we're gonna say bye bye to it because we're gonna redesign it. But yeah, we'll see you guys at Diamond. We might see you earlier though.
Yep.
We'll see you at
But we'll
Worlds.
definitely see you at Diamond.
Yep. That is the next company.
Peace out, guys.
Yes.
Okay, are you all snacked quick?
No.
Are you ready?
Am I just explaining color sort?
I don't know. Hold on, we'll get to it. We'll just make it up on the spot, bro.
We don't need to explain Odom.
Just say we have Odom, bro.
Okay, are you ready to start? No.
What to start and how?
You're gonna introduce yourselves, bro.
Oh yeah, we've never
And then
never
everybody's
done
gonna
one
like
with
show a
us.
selfie or something like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
We'll give it to one of us. Okay. And the different height code. Alright.
I saw you reaching for the wrong porch.
You guys can
Have you been
go.
recording all of this?
Hmm?
Have you been recording all of this?
Perhaps.
Oh.